Yo guys, breaking news for Kaspa. All-time high for transactions per second on mainnet. This is a record for proof of work. This is a record, across crypto industry. So this max TPS to date just happened very recently. Screenshot by CryptoK. Now this guy is the one that built Cast.FYI. So he has the behind the scenes scoop on everything on there. So I also do know that people are preparing to break a worldwide record, Guinness World Record, for the most transactions made on a proof of work blockchain, like in a single day. Now this is a world record that's going to be wild. So I think this max TPS that we just saw was a preparation for this massive record. So this max TPS is already a world record for proof of work. There's not a single proof of work that has ever reached this high. It definitely does make sense, especially seeing this Caspa developer, an absolute OG, Potato. He's doing some crazy testings, and this is actually his GitHub. Okay, and here's a whole script, simple transaction generator for Caspa. This is wild because this can get the TPS for breaking the world record. So going back to this video by Crypto OD, this is how it's going to to be done. As a community, we have made a bot that simulates real world transactions.
Not that fake shit.
Facts, okay? No batching, splitting, or counting internal messages. So this is something that completely puts it apart from Cubic. Those transactions were made in the most simplest way, like basically like an airdrop of mass amounts of tokens. And anyways, Cubic is not even proof of work. It's based on nodes and validators of a proof of stake system. All right, I'm not even gonna go into that. I've already made a video on Cubic. You go take a look at that. But all right, let's go back to this.
These are real transactions verified by a third party. We won't be using a super node like Bitcoin SV. We won't be doing it with unlimited block size. We will do it with decentralized nodes that cost $100 in Bitcoin SV cheated to get the record, and we're still gonna beat them.
Facts. All right, September 28th. Keep an eye out. Just look at these speeds. Hecking Red Bull could sponsor Caspa. The fastest crypto in the world. Fastest block DAG, fastest proof of work, fastest, most secure decentralized crypto, perfect money, hard money ever to exist. You already know. I can see it. Red Bull sponsoring Caspa. Next 1 to 2 years are going to be super crucial. This world record is insane because this is at the start of smart contract on Caspa. This is going to bring the hype that we need. This can actually turn a lot of eyes. Hey babe, I'm recording a video. I'm sorry, okay? I'll be down in like as soon as I can, okay?
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that.
Okay, thank you, babe. Bye. Boy, that escalated quickly. All eyes are going to be turning to Cas. You already know. They're going to be doing that bombastic side eye because Casp is where it's at. It's doing things that proof of work shouldn't be able to do. You thought this was only possible on proof of stake. You thought it was only possible on some super node, some very centralized method. That's how Solana runs. But that brings in that single point of failure, that centralization. Always, what's the difference of traditional networks if you're going to be doing something like that? One for one from Caspa Ecosystem Foundation. He put it very simply. He laid it out very well, honestly. Talking about decentralization and how Satoshi, Vitalik, and Jonathan Semplinsky are the only people that care about delivering decentralization. So Vitalik unfortunately couldn't achieve what he ultimately dreamed for Ethereum, to be super decentralized and super scalable while being proof of work security. Unfortunately, he couldn't do that. Ethereum couldn't achieve the scalability with hashtags, with Jonathan's work. Because Ethereum was based off of the initial research of Jonathan Semplinsky from the Phantom protocol. So they turned it into proof of stake. Now they're trying to get a chain where block production is still centralized, whereas Solana requires a super nodes that have very large specs required for a minimum. And that's just at that point, there's not much difference from Web 2 if decentralization is not the main priority of the native coin. And that was a quote retweet of this whole post from Kef. And basically the main takeaway is that Kaspa is absolutely on Tether's radar. Made a post about this, and you already know, Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, they brought in Circle. They onboarded Circle, the USDC, that's officially confirmed it's going to be on Casplex L2. So that's huge. This is the foundation for institutional adoption, literally. So for us to have USDT also on the L2, that'll be massive because that's going to bring in also that very healthy competition with stable coins. They're going to be fighting for Caspa. Caspa is the fastest rails, the fastest, most secure and decentralized rails to ever exist for crypto. So, I mean, the fact that it's fast and cheap, I mean, that's huge in it by itself. And because it's so scalable, it's going to maintain those very cheap fees as well. That's something that's going to be highly sought after, not just within Kaspa, but also across crypto. Again, one for one, he met with the founder of Zero Knowledge Proofs, along with, of course, Kaspa hype man, Wolfie himself. He's basically the business development lead. I mean, you know, Kaspa is so decentralized, but still you always need someone that takes the initiative to contact exchanges or whatever to get things listed. It's not like an official role, but he took it upon himself to do such a thing. So that's where that title comes from. And then Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, and you already know what that's all about. One for one is basically like, I don't know, the head person for it. To meet with and take this picture with a Zero Knowledge Proof founder, this guy right here, I mean, that's unbelievable. That's huge. This is the recognition that affirms Kaspa's place within crypto as like a leader in decentralized technology. Zero Knowledge Proof is all about decentralized computation, trustless computation for programmable crypto. Okay, the application for zero knowledge proofs is massive when you have a blockchain, or in this case, block DAG, that is scalable, secure, and decentralized. So zero knowledge proof is going to be applicable for smart contracts, for the based rollups, for Casplex, for Igra Labs. But zero knowledge proofs is also going to be applicable for vProgs. So think of like literally every single thing you could possibly imagine, Kaspa can absolutely do. And if Kaspa natively can't do it, then you can do it with a programmable token, a programmable extension on Kaspa. Make it an L2. Like, for example, here's this vote, and I find it kind of funny that even Tau, like, it's just funny seeing things compared to Kaspa, and it's like, what's the comparison? Of course, Kaspa wins. Tau should absolutely be migrated over to the Kaspa L2 because that's the most optimized layer one in the industry. So Tau has something great going for it. You know, they're trying to utilize AI and the whole AI infrastructure. They're trying to make it a very decentralized, but you need to run that technology on a layer, on a base layer that is the best. You can't just be running it on your own and it's very suboptimal. It's not going to take it to its full potential. And long term, it could absolutely see, well, a decline. It won't see that adoption that it maybe is looking for, especially as Kaspa gains dominance as the leading layer one. And I think if it doesn't happen now, I think eventually we're going to see that type of a lot of like different cryptos, these different technologies, different applications migrating over basically to allow these projects and these applications to easily port over to Kaspa, to Kaspa's based rollups, which are EVM compatible and literally the peak, the epitome of everything of what Ethereum tried to reach, to unlock, but they have never been able to because Ethereum was never able to scale at the speeds necessary to allow for based rollups and atomic composability across different layers, which basically means like being able to run different smart contract code, smart contract communication at the same time from many different places. So keep in mind this speed right here you see on the blockchain explorer on Kaspa.fyi, this is just Kaspa at 30 TPS. Okay, 1% of its entire capacity for 3000 TPS. This is just 30, and we just hit 3,000, over 3,500. So you wouldn't even be able to see transactions. So imagine 30,000 TPS with Dagnite. That's putting transactions at the speed of 10 milliseconds. 10 milliseconds, 0.01 second. Like that's as good of an internet connection. Like you would need the best internet connection to actually be able to utilize Dagnite to its full potential. Dagnite is literally limited by the internet. So when I say Kaspa is as fast as the internet, it's quite literally fast as the internet. Its only limitation is hardware and internet itself. Like once both of those upgrade, of course they will continue to upgrade it through the years, then Kaspa will be able to upgrade along with it. It will be able to scale with technology itself. And we talked about quantum computing. Guess what? Kaspa is the most and best position crypto of the whole industry to scale with quantum computing security as well. Because of how efficient the block DAG runs, you can include extra parameters of security like larger signatures and all this different things, which would bloat the other blockchains that are not nearly as efficient as Kaspa. But on Kaspa, it'll be like very small change. It wouldn't even affect a thing. I mean, yeah, it may slightly lower the speeds and all that, slightly. But at these speed, at this TPS, and this finality for a transaction, sub-second finality, and that's not even with Dagnite, man, you already know Kaspa is going to be heard. Eyes will turn. Yo, check it out. If you haven't seen, check this out, man. I got this green screen. I got this thing set up. It's sick. I got the block DAG running in the background. So here, I'm just gonna grab a few blocks. If I want some Kaspa, I just go and grab it. So here's another fun little teaser on Cas.live, which is a website made by Kaspador. I mean, this is crazy. So I don't know if this is some sort of like hint, or if you could try to decode this, decipher it, but we already know for a fact, that Cas smart contracts are going to be deployed on mainnet Kasplex ZK EVM this September, which leaves us literally 2 weeks. Okay, if it's not going to happen this week, it's going to happen next week. And it's going to, yeah, we're going to have an incredible start of the new month without any doubt. So it's confirmed. It's literally confirmed. And they confirmed it there at the Caspa experience as well, that September is the month for smart contract protocol. So a way to prepare is to get Ledger, okay? Kaspa is going to natively integrate in Ledger. And what's so good about Ledger is that it has something that Tangem can never provide to you, which is protection on the L2 for both Casplex and Igra Labs. On both of those L2s, Tangem doesn't work, okay? Tangem is not compatible with EVM wallets, popular ones. For example, with MetaMask. Ledger is compatible. You can connect that Ledger to your MetaMask, and then boom, your assets on the L2 are going to be secured with the cold wallet. So you already know. I got this link in my description of the video. Check out some cold wallets. I suggest getting something low budget because some of them can be pretty expensive. You don't need that touch screen, even though it's kind of cool and all. It does not improve the security of the device. Check that out with Ledger because this native integration is also huge. Not only because it's going to be natively integrated, you're not going to need some sort of third party like Castvault.io, which, it served its purpose, but now on to greater adoption. You're going to be able to swap Kaspa directly on Ledger. This is huge, and you gotta love it because the normies out there, they don't like getting their hands dirty. They want something that's easy, even if it's not going to have the best rates, for example. They want something that's easy. And just imagine if it's going to be able to swap with a DEX. Now that's going to be able to give much better rates. I'll definitely be looking forward to something like that if it could be integrated with Ledger. Who knows exactly what's going to be the provider, but this is huge, okay? So giant for getting people outside their bubble into Kaspa. Swap that XRP for Kaspa, swap that overpriced BNB for Kaspa, because you already know this is the technology. You can't hodl the best crypto tech, then go hodl something else, okay? Kaspa is going to have its time, and you have to be patient for it. All right, so interest rate cuts. 25 basis points, and that's great, okay? This is the signal. I mean, we already knew this was basically priced in, but this is the signal for long-term expansion of crypto. We already know what's happening. Just saying, it's not looking good for the dollar. I mean, look at this hecking downtrend. It's getting whooped. Why is it getting whooped? Because the dollar is trash. It's weak. I mean, even the president is openly saying the dollar's not doing so hot. It's not doing so good. Get your assets, even things like real estate, even things like gold, of course, gold, but of course, crypto, even the stock market, like literally anything but the dollar, anything but these weak liabilities. The debt markets are not sustainable. So you need that hard money and get it before it becomes blatantly obvious because the price is so high and it's skyrocketed. Don't buy after the moon happened. You got to secure the bag well before it's exciting. Because look at this. Kaspa, we already know, is the perfect money. Kaspa report breaking it down for us that in the next 2 months, Kaspa stock to flow ratio will surpass that of silver, making it literally more rare than silver. Basically, every single Kaspa mined has a greater rarity than you mining silver in your backyard or some mine down by the creek or whatever. Nah, Caspa is more rare, and of course it's going to be more valuable. Long term, that's just how it's going to work. And that's just in the next 2 months. Okay, imagine in the next few years, it's going to also flip that of Bitcoin, I think momentarily until the next halving. And then it's going to, after the next 4 years, it's finally going to flip Bitcoin forever for the stock to flow ratio. So as we already know, smart contracts coming any second, but like, check this out. Casplex, you look it up on Chainlist, and this is huge. You already got Casplex mainnet connected to Chainlist, which is the list of all the EVM networks allowing different blockchain applications and websites to be able to integrate this layer for their whatever they're trying to build. So this is huge. Connecting wallet on this Casplex ZK EVM, it's already a reality, and the switch is going to flip very, very soon. Because here we go with Coinex. I mean, their deposit withdrawals were down for maintenance. It was down for 26 hours actually. And Bybit as well has deposits and withdrawals for Caspa down for like basically the past 24 hours, something like that. And that's just weird, okay? I mean, I would understand something from Coinex. It's not as large, even though it's very reputable and it's been working very well for many, many, many years. Bybit is much larger, and so I wouldn't expect some sort of funny business coming from them. So for them to be down, I think something's happening literally with this integration testing for L2. Prepping centralized exchanges. I'm not going to say this word. I don't know if I want to get some sort of violation on YouTube. Prepping centralized exchanges for the layer 2, for smart contracts. That's what I think is happening. And with smart contracts, this whole year, the coming year the whole focus will be releasing the infrastructure for mass DeFi adoption. The community is going to be able to, without any issue, we're going to be able to pay the miners from ecosystem activity long term, well after Bitcoin falls short from its security budget deficit. All right, this is the big picture where we're looking in the next few years, next 1 to 2 years. Very important because we need to do our part to get out there, not just for other retail users, but we need developers and merchants. So everyone needs to do their part and spread the word, because Caspa, this is the time. Okay, we're now having the whole ecosystem, the whole infrastructure for everything crypto was basically meant to become. It's now, Caspa is not just going to be perfect money, but it's also going to be perfect finance. It's going to be perfect programmable crypto. And this is huge too. Tangent, they're in love with Caspa. It's awesome. So here we go. They're asking, do we want KNS domains, Caspa name service on Tangent? Because Tangent already has Ethereum name service. This is huge, okay? This is huge, especially with that, I did a whole video on address poisoning and how like you get some malware and now your address gets swapped out for something that looks exactly like it, except the very middle of the address is what's different. So when you're using Caspa name service, you don't have to worry about that. You just send it to Scape.Cas and there you go. It's like, that's going to be sending to me. That's going to be sending to my wallet. You don't have to have some long, complicated address. So Caspa name service is going to be also a very large part, and it could be a critical part, a very big ticket to mass adoption. And we already know Visa is a partner of Tangent. So dots are going to be connecting with Visa and Tangent, Tangent and Caspa, Caspa the rails for Visa. Man, big picture, things are looking good. Honestly, this is the foundation. We have to look big picture. We have to look long term. These points right here, Nakamoto proof of work security. This is the security of Bitcoin. This is what makes Bitcoin so beautiful, is the security. You can't get more secure than 51% BFT, Byzantine fault tolerance. You can't get more secure than that. For any network, you cannot get more secure. So Caspa has that, check. Decentralized and scalable. Not many cryptos out there are decentralized. And if they are decentralized, they're not scalable. Caspa has both. All right, these are huge check marks. Hard money and hard finance. I don't even know if that's a thing, but hard money and finance. Money is that whole aspect of like basically that Bitcoin, where it's like, using it as a transaction, using it for the purpose of whatever, a medium of exchange, or even as a store of value. It basically centered around the money aspect. But finance, think of it like using that money as a data, using it as programmable crypto, using it like Ethereum. Ethereum was the first crypto to have smart contracts. That's what that finance is all about, in my opinion. So having best of both worlds, huge. This is something that everything's trying to become. And now building the DeFi landscape, that goes into what I was just talking about. So Kaspa has everything going for it. And of course, Nacho, you know, being the derivative, being the leverage play. It's so funny. This one guy was basically saying Kaspa is the best form of money, not Nacho. It's like, yeah, I never said Nacho is the best form of money. Yeah, you got a point, but it is the leverage. You got to study it because the leading meme coin of every blockchain works this way. It's not a gamble. It is the winning lottery ticket on Caspa. Not your average meme coin. You should know better, honestly. It's like, it's obvious if you haven't studied to realize what happens with, like, meme coins are the traders' leverage. They're not using centralized platforms. They try to stay more away from that, and that's what the whole point of meme coin is. It's that decentralized leverage. It's that leverage without liquidation. Look at it. It's not just a multi-billion dollar, but it's an industry worth over $100 billion, and it's projected to hit $1 trillion in 2035. So, I mean, yeah, you tell me what you think, tell me what you like. You can diss meme coins all you want. If you told me like many years ago, like 10 years ago or whatever, before meme coins were even a thing, I'd say that's ridiculous. But nah, meme coins are the second largest narrative in crypto besides the native coin itself. So, I mean, I don't have to try to convince you. I'm just telling you the facts. That's just what it is. Here you go with Nacho. You're early in Caspa. Take the opportunity of being so early in Caspa and grab a bag of Nacho. All right, that's the play. It's like, it's so rare to be early in such a thing. So take advantage of the fact that you're so early in Caspa. That's my whole thought process on it. And do as you wish. Caspa is for everyone. Everyone has their own little part. And that's the beautiful thing about Caspa. For builders, it's for utility coins, it's for meme coins, it's for everyone. But the meme coin is the highest grossing net profit potential of any type of crypto. I mean, that's just how it works, especially coming from a fair launch. Another beautiful post from Orangutan Elder talking about how money, the dollars, it's just so flawed. And CAS is just that organic market response. It's not powered by unsustainable debt. You know, that hard money is by real, it's powered by real activity. It's currently it's on the emission schedule, which is a bit of a crutch, but it's slowly getting off that crutch. And miners are going to then be relying on the transaction activity. This is going to be what miners are going to rely on. And these are going to be filled up with a lot more a lot more gas fees. And again, this is just at like 30 TPS. And this is just like a test. So, you know, stress testing or whatever. So you already know what's going to be happening down the line. When you have the ability to scale to so many transactions, yeah, okay, the gas fees are lower, but okay, now you're going to be able to have here, like for example, at this day, there was like 8 million transactions for that day. I mean, that's unheard of. Being able to do those micro transactions, the application for that is huge.
Because no, I'm
oh my God, like, the funniest video ever.
Let's just say
funniest clip ever.
Is an example of that. It's probably 2 times better than Bitcoin.
The money.
He's like, the money, like his facial reaction. So he's talking about disruptive cryptos, okay?
Because no, I'm talking about like a disruptive technology. Let's just say Kaspa, right, is an example of that. It's probably 2 times better than Bitcoin.
The money.
Right? Their Kaspa coin, right? It's 2 times better than Bitcoin.
He's so, this guy, his face is so, and he keeps on going on and on. The shill couldn't be more obvious. Then he later on, he replied to a tweet saying that, hey, I don't know how much you have, but I have a lot more. I don't know what he said exactly, but he's like, I have a lot more Caspa than you do. Basically confirming he holds a very large bag of Caspa. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Okay, like he might have been lucky with Bitcoin. Who knows? Who cares? It seems like he still hasn't understood Caspa. I've seen other videos from him in the past where he says stuff that just didn't make any sense. Things from Caspa, and it really didn't make sense. Even things with like regarding the forking, and it just seemed like he, I don't know, maybe not the smartest understanding of what Caspa's all about, but here he is. He finally did his research, and he's chilling it.
But is it really worth, right, risking your wealth on something that's only a 2x?
Risking your love for something that's only a 2x.
Right? That's only twice as better than Bitcoin.
He's boiling.
Bitcoin? Probably not. right? It's not worth twice as better than Bitcoin. Probably not, right? It's not worth it. Some people will think it is, right?
Yeah, and they'll choose to buy it.
Exactly.
You got it. You got the final confirmation he's looking for. Exactly. People choose to buy it. Exactly. Simple math, facts. It's so funny, man. 2 times better. Only 2 times better. It's just $5 trillion, you know, not a big deal. And currently Caspa is 1,000 times cheaper. No biggie. It's also 6,000 times faster. Yeah, not just times 2, so this was basically implanting the idea of Caspa being better than Bitcoin. And it's not just 2x better, but it's a whole ton better. And it's absolutely more than 10 times better than Bitcoin. Overall, generally speaking, more than 10 times. And when a technology is more than 10 times, you see that adoption kicking in, slowly coming from Bitcoin to Caspa. And we see so many Bitcoin maxis joining Caspa. And it's not by coincidence. It's not by coincidence. There's also so many Caspa maxis. The GOAT. The GOAT. You know, here he is doing work at a conference. So you already know there's just so much going for Caspa. It's crazy. Get your bag, grab it, send it to a cold wallet, and chill for a little bit because Caspa is consolidating, and you know, you just gotta love it. Everything going for it. The technology, the hype. I mean, it's all coming together. So don't you worry about it. Everything's everything in its own time. And on that note, peace, peace, peace. On that note, peace.